Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Icenia campaign. Last time, we won the war and seized the coastline, a long-term goal of mine fulfilled there, so that's pretty exciting. And before we get started with cleaning up the kind of logistics of this whole situation, there's this extremely dense fort network we have to dismantle and reorganize as we integrate this sort of passageway between our formerly separated exclaves in Armorica and Belgica slash Germania, which is now one unified, at least sort of conceptually, it is still, of course, divided between four governors, one unified area that we can work with. Before we get into that, though, I do want to quickly mention a few logistic things about my computer, actually, interestingly enough. First things first, I hope the audio quality is a little better this episode. I've repositioned my microphone, so it's hopefully going to pick my voice up a little more consistently. I do tend to talk kind of quietly sometimes, and I lean back in my chair, and my microphone was previously tucked away, kind of far away from me, and sometimes I was a little hard to hear, even though I've turned the volume in game down pretty low, so I do apologize about that in retrospect. If you've made it this far in this series, you probably have not been bothered by that to a point where it's made you decide to stop watching, so I appreciate that, but hopefully this will for the future lead to more consistent audio quality. And I actually do have a headset en route. That's a Christmas present from a family member. So hopefully that will further increase the consistency, whether that's good or bad quality, as me speaking is already a recipe for bad audio quality in general. But anyways, the second thing is I've noted for a little while now my weird computer problems, weird freezes and sort of slowness that's very bizarre. And it turns out that this has actually been a pretty deep hardware issue that I finally identified using a task manager and sort of doing some research. Essentially, my disk drive, my solid state drive, that this game, and actually all of my games, because it's where my Steam is installed and I'm playing a Steam copy of this game, and also my operating system are all installed on this one solid state drive. It has been experiencing pretty long periods of 100% disk usage, which, if you don't know, isn't supposed to happen normally. That's a sign that something weird's going on. And I haven't been able to identify any applications, so it's not like a virus that's using up all my resources. It just seems to be that the solid state drive itself has some kind of mechanical problem. Maybe the cable is damaged. That's a pretty common issue. I don't have a replacement cable currently, so I can't easily test this. So I was already thinking of doing an upgrade because I actually have a computer I built myself a little over a year ago, around the start of the pandemic. I thought, okay, now's my chance to really build a nice computer because I'll be stuck at home for so much time. And I've done a couple upgrades and I sort of know my way around the inside of my computer. So I was already thinking of upgrading the solid state drive and transferring everything to a larger SSD, which I've actually ordered and is getting here pretty soon after this recording, hopefully. Once I hopefully do that correctly, we'll try not to lose any data. I'll back up the save, by the way, and make sure it's on the cloud, so if the worst happens, the series won't unceremoniously come to an end thanks to some weird hardware problem. Anyways, but once I make the transfer, that'll hopefully fix it. The new SSD will come with a new, what's called a SATA cable, SATA, and I suspect the issue that I have is mechanical because no kind of computer interface fix that I've tried, or going into the what's it called, the console, the command prompt. I've done a couple tricks that have been recommended to try and clear it up and fix any kind of logic loops that might be happening that people report, because this is a fairly common issue that people deal with disk drives. So all that is to say, I don't mean to give you my life story here in this episode, but all that is to say, I do have a fix en route, and even though it is still problematic, I know that I personally feel much better about a situation when I know that there is a solution sort of on the way that I've scheduled, that I've got in place. And at this point, it's just a matter of bearing through any further weirdness until my replacement part gets here. I may actually contract with a computer shop to do the transfer and do the physical switching, just to make sure that the professional does it, because who knows, maybe I'm the one who broke my previous SSD. But whatever the case, we'll hopefully get that fixed soon, and I'll comment in a future episode once I've made that change and hopefully report that I fixed the issue. If that doesn't fix the issue and the new SSD also hits 100%, then it's a motherboard issue, which is a lot more complicated and actually requires a lot more time to then work out because getting a replacement motherboard is a lot more of a hassle. So I'm not going to bore you with the many branching paths of this whole scenario, but needless to say, it's under control, hopefully. Speaking of things that are hopefully under control, we have a couple notifications up here. We do have barbarians ravaging our north. They've actually sieged and occupied Wilunyate, which I've actually just recently turned into a city, so that's a little embarrassing. And they're down here threatening to siege Sewariakis. Now, our levies are dismissed because, of course, we just won this war. They will not be ready again for quite a while. Even our main one, yeah, because this was such a long war. So we're going to have to make use of mercenaries on both fronts. We do, of course, have mercenaries from Hibernia on the way, which means we cannot lower our troop payment until these mercs are no longer in our employ. And for the south, we're going to have to hire some mercenaries. I'm thinking, given the size of this horde, which I don't think I can... Well, actually, hold on. I can pay them off. I wonder what this looks like. I could make a tribal vassal. Interesting. I hadn't thought about this. I could settle them in some of my land. Perhaps I could settle them, actually... This would be kind of interesting, an interesting idea. Settle them in Celtica, in this little section I control. Just so... I mean... I don't need to not control Celtica. I still think I made the right call taking this land in the past, but this isn't land that I desperately want, and it is a little awkward to have this one area with a character governing that is technically encroaching into Arwinian territory, just because I am trying to avoid being declared war on right now, if that makes sense. So it could be kind of interesting to create a little tribal vassal. Although that being said, it would probably make more sense to create a tribal vassal in lands I never want to control or have no interest in at all. We will eventually expand into Aquitania. I need to remember that this is the section of Aquitania which is called Celtica, which is very confusing, and I'm still not fully grasping that, I feel. But anyways, we could just pay them off. How much will they need? Oh my gosh. They'd ask for quite a lot to ignore our territory. Well, it's actually going to be cheaper to just hire a large mercenary army and just go kill them, because I'll also get some money from killing them. So I think I'll just bite the bullet and pay for a large mercenary army, to be honest. I think I'll just hire one over here. We are going to be a smaller number than them, but I'm expecting they'll come to Sewariakis, and I can just go defeat them in a defensive battle, assuming these mercs are... Yeah, it's only 100 to buy them. Yeah, and it does cost a lot of money per month, but, you know, it's not really a huge cost at the front. We're actually going to tell these guys, 10%, I think we'll just let them recover without using reorganization, because that's a very, very large 100% maintenance cost. That's about 6 gold for 10% faster recovery. We're not in a huge rush to kill these guys. Also, their morale's not at full, so I think this should be fine. We'll just leave these guys here in Namnetum. Meanwhile, in the north, we do have Iconia's mercenaries I was trying to say en route and on the way at the same time. I kept trying to say on the route, which is also true. They are on the route, so that's fine. Then we'll have to go re-siege this, which is a little annoying. Just pay more money for these guys. Meanwhile, we now have this mercenary leader is supporting one of the pretenders, which is hilarious. Okay, I'm not too concerned about that. Before I pause, let's do some management of our new acquisitions. So I think this fort probably doesn't need to continue existing. I think if I was going to build a fort over here, if I was going to move the capital from Brucerona, which I said before I might do, I could move it to a coastal city. That being said, I don't need to have coastal cities like Namnetum. I think we can build a port in Esta. I think since Esta can build a port, it is at the mouth of the Sequana. I'd like to have a river mouth guarding city like I do in Namnetum and in Lugadurum for reasons I've talked about before. So let's go ahead and switch the capital over to Esta, which means we're going to destroy these extra forts. We're actually going to build a fort. Build the fort in Esta, and actually, hold on. Let's actually found the city in Esta first, and then build a fort. Because I want to move... I want to set up a colony there as well, which will be, I think, likelier if the city is founded. So let's go ahead and found a city. In a couple months, or maybe 1 or 2 months, we'll be able to found another city. And then we'll move the capital over. Now, fortunately, the province is loyal enough to pull that off, which would have been annoying if it wasn't. Brucirono is actually an okay spot for a capital, a provincial capital, because it is farmland, but I'd rather have it be up in Esta for all those reasons I talked about a moment ago. I guess I could have also had... Let's see, can I build a... I don't think I can build a port here. It doesn't look like I can. I could on the outside, though. Hold on. I'll come to that in a moment. Anyway, so we're going to have Esta be the provincial capital over here, which means it doesn't have a great zone of control, but it does, importantly... Well, there's still a route through here. Lexo Riorum is a deity level fort location. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's incredible. This almost should be a fort location just for that. What do we have here? We have leather. I could just build a fort here, honestly. Let's see here. I've already committed to building a city. I don't think I can back out of building a city in Esta. We're going to proceed with the Esta plan. It is, you know, it's fine to have a city here. Yeah, I think this is now in the interior, so it's not going to need to be super, super duper fortified. And Esta being fortified also protects this crossing. Oh yeah, that's right, I should have remembered. Yeah, this crossing is quite important to protect, as we saw in the war in the last 2 episodes. So Esta will be a city. I'm gonna commit to it now. I kind of have to because I've built the city here. So we're gonna build that. I guess I could also fortify Lexo Riorum. I'm not gonna worry about that for now. Yeah, we're not gonna be too concerned. Anyways, over here. We may have found the city here, I think, next, because this is another good spot. Yeah, I want to have some more coastal cities. Okay, so that's that. Now let me quickly go through and check and see. Slave estate. I don't remember which parts I owned before, so I'm just going to check everything around here. The farming settlement, that's fine. Slave estate's great. Okay, and then over here, we have a barracks. No way. Get out of here. Farming, slave estate's fine. Cenabum is this big city that I've inherited. I may or may not keep this city. I'll have to think about that for a moment, but we'll return to that in a moment. Actually, is fairly set up as well. What do we got? Court of Law, Forum, Marketplace, Granary. Yeah, no training camp. So we have an academy, though. We can make a lot of money actually destroying these buildings, so let's go to that. But of course, money's not really my main issue at this point. Probably going to destroy this fort, because I don't think this will be a city in the future. Although, actually, is this worth keeping as a fort for now? Maybe. Nah. Same with here. Let's destroy this fort. It may seem like I'm doing that on my frontier kind of dangerously, but we'll come back in a moment and revisit what the good plan should be. All right. I think that's everything. So let's focus on the south of the Sequana first here. Okay, so in Carnuccia, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee here. So we have this city that exists already. It's very, very populated by who lives here? We have Alurkians who live here, and a couple Biturgians as well. Actually, this is a pretty multicultural city. Looks like it was an Alurkian city because they're the nobility and the citizenry. This location doesn't quite line up cleanly with Sewariakis, which admittedly isn't a city, but it is a fort. Another good approach here might be... Gotta think about this for a moment. Since we're not going to have anything on the river, I don't think. Can we build a... I don't think we can build a port here. It's too close to Este anyways. Do we have any grasslands around here? So hold on. Grassland's not a tile type. What am I talking about? Just going crazy. All right. Condate is a really good central location. I think I commented on this before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Condate is a really good location in the middle of the province, which I kind of like. If I built the fort here, this would line up with Esta really well, which I do like. This would not line up with Sewariakis very well. But hold on, it would actually line up with Brucirono, which itself lines up with Sewariakis. So I hope you're following along. But essentially, if we build in Condate and in Esta, that does actually protect the interior of kind of the Normandy area. So that will actually make sense. So let's actually switch this over now, I think. You look at capital. Condate, very good. Now, the fate of Cenabum, I kind of don't want there to be this big city down here necessarily. I think because it wasn't built very, efficiently. This will all have to go. Smartly destroy everything on our way out. All right, we just made a bunch of money from that. And let's revoke the city status. We are going to get some tyranny, and our tyranny is getting pretty high here, which does affect everyone's dislike of me. I guess the aggressive... Actually, no, that's not right. The aggressive expansion affects that. They don't really care about the tyranny that much, but that's fine. We're not selling nobles into slavery anymore, so tyranny should gradually creep down. We are going to get big boosts like from this. Now, the reason I'm doing this, by the way, is Cenabum is in a really bad location. If I didn't keep it fortified, and I did delete the fort. Actually, did I? No, I didn't. There wasn't a fort there. That's how I got it before. Okay, yeah. I already sacked the city, I think, so it's already been kind of ravaged. So we're gonna, yeah, its civilization values diminished. You can see here the what it currently has is higher than its maximum because we like brutally sacked it. So we're gonna let it decline into nothing. Yeah, we revoked it. So. All right, that's fine. In fact, let's see here. Actually might just turn it into a fort. Yeah, let's actually... So now we've changed it from an unfortified huge city to no city, but it's fortified. So we've completely reversed what it is. A fort here lines up with both Sewariakis and with Condate. So we've now, after, how long has it been? Like 5 minutes of just talking about south of the Sequania, all our new territory. We've now turned this big mess into a smart patchwork of forts with really efficient fort lines that minimize the number of forts we need. So by the way, the reason why I fixate so much on fort organization, you might say, Misadventurer, why do you do this? Part of it's because it does save money, even though I spend an unfathomable amount of money on forts, and I think I will actually go down in fort maintenance. Actually, hold on. It's only a couple. Yeah, we're gonna keep it up. We'll keep it up actually, just because it is not that much right now. The reason why I'm so thorough about this is because it's actually it's so much better to have a really smart and efficient layout of forts and capitals that you fortify. And for me, this is a big part of the fun of the game, is this kind of thinking and the kind of meta of this. So, anyways, we're gonna destroy the farming settlement in Condate. And do we turn into a city first? I think we do. But this has to wait for a few months. How long does the fort take to build? Takes a couple of years. So we'll hold off. We'll build the city in Condate first and then fortify it again. We're not planning to go to war. Very unlikely that Senonia or Parissia or any of these guys declare war on us in the meantime. So that's south of the Sequana organized there. Sorry again for the very slow episode here, but gotta do all this stuff. Now, north of Sequania, over here in Welio-Cassia, now we've switched over to the Belgica section of our new conquest. And it's actually only this part, and also this little section of Beowakia, a little weirdly. So the Beowakia kind of, what's it called? There's salient, that's the word I'm looking for. This being the fortified capital is fine for now. This is really not the best capital location, obviously, but since we don't really have a lot of good pickings like I've done down here, I'm just going to keep a fortified forest provincial capital. That's pretty defensible, and this is definitely our frontier, so no need to worry about that too much. We do need, though, to fix these things. Let's switch this over. Where are we at? Yeah, minus 31. Local autonomy. Yeah, that should improve. Let's check over here as well, actually. Yeah, these guys are on the wrong policy. Gotta switch that real quick. Local autonomy. And yeah, that's all that down here. Over here, local autonomy. I think I already switched this one to local autonomy. Oh, no, I already own the land. That's right, that's right. All right. Okay, so over here in Weliocasia, we do have a little section still to get, but we'll worry about that later. We have this port in Briga. Let's go and destroy that. This is never going to be a port location. This is a forest. That's no good. Now, where to put the capital in Briga? Let's see here. I'm thinking Galetia Orientalis. This is a pretty central location in the province. It's also coastal, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locations. It doesn't like the. I could build the fort in Karakotium to furthermore protect this crossing, sort of like I've done. I guess I didn't do it down here, but it's sort of similar to what I've done with the Liger, where I have a fort nearby, and this essentially creates a double fort protection of this crossing. If we have a fort over here, it doesn't extend this far. I'm not sure if the one in Este will extend this far, but it does effectively block land movement around. So Galetia, and also the reason I wouldn't do it in Galetia Occidentalis is Galetia Orientalis has much more range, essentially, for the fort, and it's a little more central, and it's also a little more, it's not going to necessarily just butt up against Este quite as much. So let's make this also let's go through and clear out all this terrain. We can destroy the port here, I think. Yeah. Move the capital. Yep, we can pull that off. All right, destroy this fort. I said, oh yeah, we can't now. Oof, I should have probably done the building stuff before I moved the capital. That's a small mistake. We may get the granary event and make this province loyal again. That's unfortunate. Now I can't destroy all these buildings. I should remember that that's something that happens. Fortunately, it's only a couple buildings we missed out on. We'll have to pay for this fort in the meantime. That's a shame, but it is what it is. I might actually build... well, actually, hold on. Now I've set myself back because of those governor changes. My political influence is now a lot lower, so we'll have to wait a few more months to build more cities. I may build the city in Galetia first over Condate. We'll figure that out. And I think that's the extent of my new holdings. Reorganized there. So a lot of time in this episode already devoted to this, but hopefully you can tell this is a very important part of my micro. And this territory is actually all kind of tenuous. Like, my control over it is not super secure yet. I've not been able to culturally convert anybody except for some of my earliest places I came to in the Landfall episode way back up here in Veneia, where I've got, a bit more... Why did I change this, actually? This is not quite solidified yet. Let's clean that up first. All right, so... yeah, that's going to have to stay like that. Actually, let's just quickly zoom through and make sure everything's on the right. Okay, this could probably be switched. And yeah, that's fine. Local autonomy all over the place, yeah. Like, it looks impressive on the map, but sort of like in real life with Roma. I guess Roma is the right. With Rome and real life conquest of Gaul, They got a lot of territory, but they didn't really have it firmly in their control. And it took a long time for the Gauls to become Romanized and to really lose their old kind of tribal relations, if they kind of ever did. Arguably, they didn't. Similarly to like Rome and Illyria, Rome and Greece, arguably that never happened with Greece and other places too. So our control of Gaul is definitely, it looks more impressive than it is. This is really not a secure region, and it's quite vulnerable to invasion by land, of course, which our island home is not so much. So let's go ahead and finally unpause. Our war exhaustion being this bad is a problem, but we did invoke the Devotio, so that's good. We already have some more trade requests. Menopia wants to trade. Sure, I'll trade with Menopia. That's fine. Along we go. I don't much like this, I'll admit. Ailing. That's unfortunate. I do have the Conqueror title. I don't remember if I got this from an event, but this does pretty clearly reflect Wisenius' situation. He's only 35, and he's really lived up to his nickname, the Gaul, pretty well, I think. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Oh, they're on the run. Breaking my fort rules, I'm noticing. That's great. Gotta love when barbs do that. You want to trade leather. Alright. That's fine. Carthage wants wood. I know where Carthage is. I don't know why I clicked that. Where's Carthage? Where could they be? Alright, so we're going to have to probably miss those guys there. I don't know why I'm checking all these guys. I can just sell my wood to everybody. Probably pretty safely. I'm just going to stay here and recover. Alright, let's go catch these guys. We're going to cross over. That's unfortunate. But this should be a pretty easy battle here. These barbs are low morale. They're also facing a much stronger mercenary force with a better commander to boot, so that's good. Yeah, 6%. Alright, we're fine. Yeah, this, we actually are nowhere near the threshold right now, so that's totally fine. Alright, let's kill these guys. Trade furs with these guys. Great. Ariana Had Urkea has died. Okay. She was the steward and an aunt of the governor of Germania. She was the head of the Urkea family. We've had this character for quite a long time. I do remember her from the Daunus days, and maybe even the Dawnwind days. I can't quite remember when she entered the scene, but I remember her as a pretty long-lasting character here in the series, so rest in peace. There goes our steward. So we're going to need a good steward here. National tax is quite important. Kind of don't want to give another Kalatiae. They have a lot of presence in the government, but I suppose that's only fair. I guess we'll go with, well, I mean, 9 finesse is 9 finesse. Let's see here. What kind of loyalty we're dealing with? Any bad loyalty traits around here? It doesn't seem so. Oh, wait, hold on. You've got bad corruption. You've got crafty. Okay, we're not going to get you, Singatessa. Yeah, glad I noticed that. What do we have here? Crafty and righteous. Interesting combination. Crafty again. What? Okay, someone who's not crafty, please, or has bad loyalty. Okay, we've got this minor character. Okay, finesse. This guy. I'm just getting him because his corruption is not that severe. I think the steward's pretty well paid, and the high corruption is going to really increase that cost. So let's give it to this guy. Good. Now we'll chase these guys down. Hopefully catch them. Yeah, that's probably a stack wipe. Meanwhile, how's our mercs? Out of the way. How's our mercs doing? Doing fine. Continue building up that morale. Wait, hold on. Oh, that's just... Yeah, okay. That's fine. Engage the enemy. There we go. We took 23 gold. Very good. We also, I guess, deleted one population from existence. Phenomenal. Alright, so that actually automatically ended the siege. Sorry, my computer's doing one of those slowdown moments. Hopefully the recording's fine. Seems like it. So, Weliante is now free from the grips of the barbarians who are basically their neighbors. Oh, we got more barbs up here now? Oh, jeez. I'm glad I noticed that before I disbanded these mercs. Okay, so let's... Actually, hold on. Let's be a little smart about this. I'm going to send the Elkonum fleet to come pick the mercs up. I think they can probably fit on the Elkonum fleet. We'll just have them cross over in the old-fashioned way. These mercs are still not ready to fight, so we'll give them a couple more months. I also, by the way, think I'm going to start building my 5th fleet. I know that I've not really used my navies for that much right now, but it is a thing to invest my money into that in the long term is good for my power projection, although that's not really a mechanic in the game, to be fair, but, you know, conceptually it is. So let's go ahead and get that set up. So let's remind ourselves we've got 20 Liburnians and 10 Hexeres. Let's start building our Hexere core. Build another building in Londinium as well. Very good. What happens if we build another port? I guess it doesn't technically do anything for ship stuff. Anyways, let's build our 3rd academy then, I think, for the capital. We got 30 people in Londinium. Nice, thriving capital. 7 nobles here. Very good. That extra academy will produce a lot of research power there. I will actually go through, maybe next episode, I don't want to just have this whole episode be this peacetime kind of micro stuff. I know I really enjoy this, but I know it's not always the most fun to watch. Hopefully I make it entertaining by commenting on what I'm doing, because to me this is a big part of the gameplay. I may have to go through and just check on all my new cities and make sure they're set up. I guess I don't really need to do that. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's build ourselves one hex array here, and then build to that hex array after it's done. So we'll do it like that. It'll take a little longer, but it'll be easier to manage. I want to trade for vegetables. All right, we'll do that. All right, these guys are just pillaging around as they go. That's great. Okay, this place has pretty bad civilization value anyways. Boy, Hamia wants to trade for wine. Good stuff. You know, I probably should just start walking up this direction while I wait for the ships to arrive. Not gonna trade with you. I will trade with you though. Concoletanus Welbus gave into frailty. He was the head of the Welba family, master of the guard. Alright, so also because Arianerhod died, I need to check on the new heads of some of these families. Need a new person here. Oh god, all these crafty characters. Alright, so you've got no bad loyalty traits, no bad corruption traits. We'll get you another minor character. Tutomalius Elitoes. Alright, will be the master of the guard, that's fine. How my mercs looking? 43%. Still not ready to fight the barbs. That's fine. The vagaries of state. While the court was in session this afternoon, a little known man by the name of Tutomalius, who I actually just put into office, what's he doing now? Stood to give a rousing speech on the subject of military training standards. This guy's taking his job real seriously immediately. Love that. While his argument was ultimately unsuccessful, many heads were turned by the beauty of his oratory. Perhaps this is something we'll have to keep an eye on. So he gains orator, and he gains prominence. Troubling. I think that's great. I want to have a competent cabinet, please. What does an orator do? Charisma, and that's all it does for him. Okay. Access to the persuade character. All right, so we've got a well-spoken master of the guard. Very cool. All right. Yeah, I don't know why I waited for the boats at all. I'm just going to get up there on foot. I guess, well, yeah, the boats. Honestly, at this point, the boats can just head back to Wilconum. I don't think I need them at all. Because we're going to get there before the boats even really arrive to help out. Trade with Guthonia. Alright. Come along. Beowakia. Not going to trade with you because you're likely... I'm going to likely fight you next. You, though, are further away. I will trade with you. So even though we're not conquering sort of resource-rich areas, we're doing it more for land grabbing, we are getting a lot of resources to trade away. And once I do some slave micro down there, we're going to get even more resources. Okay, so, what are we at? 54. Still not ready. Gonna have to keep waiting. I'm not going to spend $6. I'm not going to spend 6 gold to boost their recovery speed. It's not quite worth it, I feel. So we're just going to hold on to that. Alright, come on. Alright, so now we're doing one of those solid state drive 100% performance or 100% disk usage moments. I can tell that's what this lag is. Hopefully my audio is still happening for the recording. I actually don't know what's going to happen to the recording when this happens. I should check and see. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We'll see what happens after. It seems as though the recording is still going fine. See, this is why I'm excited to get the fix in, because this is really frustrating. Imagine this happening in like an action game, and you'll understand my pain that I'm in right now. In Imperator Rome, at least, it's not a huge deal to have something like this, because the game pauses, you know, there's no need to have quick reflexes. Alright, so we're being ravaged by barbs. See, one advantage of the Legion system is you can have a Legion just up here, ready to go. Even with raised levies anywhere, because this is technically in Caledonia, the Caledonia levy probably can't take on a barb force of any size, because it's going to be a 2k levy. So that is one problem. Our Civil War ends again. Yeah. Several nights ago, Lower Niska, or Kea, which is my wife, is she? No, she's the physician. Wait. Yes, she's my wife. I know who my wife is, I swear. Was discovered helping herself to a sizable quantity of gold from the National Treasury. Oh, jeez. This is clearly a serious crime. However, there is something to be said for sweeping affairs like this under the carpet. I don't want to flog my wife. Are you kidding me? I guess there's no character-to-character opinion mechanic in this game, so she's not going to really be too bothered. And to be super brutally pragmatic, I do already have a number of kids from her, so if she, like, did dislike me in some mechanical sense, it wouldn't necessarily imperil the realm. And 10 popularity is kind of nice. I like having high popularity. Losing health would be bothersome, but not really a critical problem. Alternatively, lose popularity, which I don't like. I become friends with her, which is nice, but again, don't really need to be friends with her for any mechanical reason. I would like to be for, obviously, roleplay reasons, but I think Westenius is going to have to do some some kinky stuff, but not in the bedroom this time. We're going to do a public flogging. Sorry, Lorisco. Anyways, how's it going down here? These guys are just roaming around. Maguna Urkea died. She was the head of the So this is the new head of the Urkea family. I didn't even look at the family heads. Okay, who's the head now? Let's check now. So the Welbii head is Welibia. I think we knew that one. The Urkea head is now Dewiakis Urkis, who is not a character in the government, all right? And the Kalatii head is Mandu Brachius Kalatus, who's also not a governor or a government character. Okay, that's fine. Welibia Welba. Disloyal. Okay, sure. She's close to disloyal. It's not actually disloyal. Her being righteous is kind of annoying. The Briton. I gave her that nickname. I could give free hands to boost her loyalty, but actually she's got righteous, so her corruption's actually at -10. Free hands might actually make sense because you're trading corruption for loyalty, and she has an anti-corruption trait, so this might be okay for a while. Yeah, we'll see how that works. She's pretty old, so hopefully it won't cause lasting damage to our economy. Just want to make sure, because it's important that Caledonia doesn't revolt as a province. That'd be pretty catastrophic. So I'm just checking down here, by the way, to make sure they're not coming from my underpowered mercenary force. Or I should say, I mean, they're not underpowered, but they're powering up still, right? Like they're kind of under-moraled. These guys are just pillaging around. I can't do anything until my mercenaries are ready to go, right? And to be fair, if I was using my levy, I'd have the same problem. I'd have to wait for them to recover, but I think my levies recover faster than the mercs are doing. Not entirely sure, but that's my understanding of it. Sinonian Civil War is over. All right. That was, okay. So now, good thing we're building that fort now, because this will help protect us from any Sinonian jankiness. A fortress under siege in... Where? Oh, yeah. We're coming to kill them. That's totally fine. Should be a stack wipe. There they go. All right. Ready for the event. We got 0.12 gold. Great. They didn't really do much pillaging, to be fair, so that's fair enough. Anyways, now we can go ahead and disband these mercs, assuming there's no more barbarians anywhere in my land up here on the Isles. I don't see anything, so we should be fine. All right. It's going to save us a lot of money. Meanwhile, down here, this force is about ready to move out, and I think we're going to put them on the boats and head on over, try and catch these guys with some river action. I love the animation of them standing on the river behind the boat. That's just really funny to me. I don't know why. It's just a goofy animation. All right, we got the monthly tick, so we are at just about full morale. This is fine. I think this is probably the fastest route. Let's come land. Academy and Millennium is done. All right, over we go. Who we come is lost. That's fine. To get there. Meanwhile, while that's going on, let's actually hold on. Fix this here. I didn't want to build it to this navy. Create a unit. So never one of the hex arrays. The let's see, the Dictium, I suppose. That's fine. I'm not sure if this is the one that I built or not. Okay, so now we got this extra hexaries. Let's go ahead and call this classes 5. Where should it be stationed at? I think having a navy stationed in Manaus might make sense, given how often we have to send the navy up to pick up the Caledonian levy. And I may do some Hibernian conquests in the near-ish future to kind of clean up and fully gain control of Albion. So let's establish this as a Manawia navy. Manawia. Classes 5 Manawia. Yep. And then who are we going to assign to this? I suppose for now we could assign Kona Sinata. I think I've said before, I like having non-family sort of minor characters be generals if possible, because it decreases the chance of some kind of organized coup by that family. I'm being pretty careful with the family politics in this game. If you haven't been able to tell, I'm playing very conservatively. You can really min-max the family stuff and the character loyalty to some pretty wild extremes, but I want to avoid some kind of playthrough ending situation. Because again, this is an Iron Man playthrough, if you don't know. All the mistakes I make, I have to work past, which is part of why I play so carefully. So this is a very, very young character with a promising martial stat. No... Actually, hold on. What's her... Oh, she's not Kenny, though. She's Baturigan. Well, never mind. I don't really want to have a non-Kenny general or admiral. That shouldn't matter that much, but we're just gonna play it safe, I suppose, in that regard. I guess, does it matter if she's not a Kenny? The Baturians are... Sorry, the Baturigans are not pleased. These guys are a Gallic culture. I don't remember where they're from. I'm not going to check that right now. I guess we'll pick a different character. All these other characters are really old, though. Alright, Talorc Urcus. This is an Ikeni character. 5 Marshal is okay. We don't need to have an amazing Marshal character for every Admiral position. Super good loyalty. He's trusting. And he's an Urkii? Is he really? His family is married to the ruler family, but he's not an Urkii. Oh, he is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, okay. So this would be an Urkii pick, but that's fine. This will get the Urkii up to Grateful, to be fair. Let's go ahead and go with this guy. Very good. We have a Scorn family now? Oh, that boosted up the... okay. Well, now we gotta reorganize some things. Shoot. Alright, let's take care of that now. Now that I guess we have enough characters now where it expects 4 jobs per family. Don't exactly know how that's calculated. Let me know in the comments if you know how that's calculated. Alright, let's switch some people out for Scorned characters, or Scorned family people here. So we could switch out Omen Power. I kind of want to have a very competent character because this affects my manpower recovery, but this guy is no corruption. He is arrogant, which I don't like, but the rest of his disloyalty, or he's otherwise pretty loyal. He's also devout, so that cancels that arrogance. So let's go ahead and put a Welbi in charge there. All right, we are going to build this back up, hopefully, so that will hopefully not cause too much trouble. I mean, we're not in a manpower crunch right this second. We just want to rebuild our manpower, without too much delay. And then we also, the steward, I think we just put in power. Could get this Diwikai added Damaris. This character should be fine. Same power level. Yeah, okay. So, unfortunately, we did just have to unassign some minor characters we assigned before, but now we've solved our crisis there. Anyways, so the classes Manawia, head on back to Manawia. In fact, okay, we got that on decreased pay. Now we can build straight to the classes, which I wanted to do originally. Build the Navy. So we're going to need... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I got 10 and then 20 Librarians. Okay. The Navy. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hopefully that's been distributed reasonably around my nation. With these extra ports that I've got now, this is going to speed up my naval building a bit more. Let's see just how many were assigned to Londinium. not too many actually. That's kind of nice. Looks as though it's been distributed pretty smartly. Actually, maybe not. We have a lot of Liburnians coming out of Canoium. Well, yeah, only one or two. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's go ahead and clear out these barbs. This episode's just been literally recovering from the last episode. Hopefully you still enjoy it. I mean, at this point in the series, I should assume that if you're watching, you're not here expecting every episode to be action-packed. If I tried to do that and I artificially went into conflicts and I did wars I didn't need to do and I drained everything just to have entertaining war episodes every time, I'd be, I think, a bad Imperator Rome player, which I know you're not here to watch. And there's nothing against those more action-packed Let's Plays. If I want to watch a really action-packed sort of Roman era, game, I'll watch a Total War game. I'll watch a Total War like series on YouTube, which I do. I enjoy them quite a lot. Here we go. We can disband these mercs. Yeah, this game, like what I enjoy about this game is the the deeper kind of economy stuff. I really enjoy that part of it, clearly. So I'm having a really great time in the series. If you can't tell, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. Anyways, let me think. Do we need to rearrange? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to redesignate these guys ever so slightly. I'm going to make the Oconum fleet the second fleet. And I'm going to make the Lugudurum fleet the third fleet. My reasoning here is... Oh, also the other thing I'm going to do is... I'm going to have... Actually, hold on. I'm going to make the Lugudurum fleet the fourth fleet. And then Netum is going to be the fifth fleet. And Manawia is going to be the third fleet. Okay, so... Oops. Alright. I think this should... when I relaunch the game, this should fix the order there. But essentially my thinking here is my three kind of prime fleets, and I may reorganize who's admiral where to give the frontier fleets better admirals in a wartime situation. Maybe not. But whatever, I'm not going to worry about that right now, but Ally Circus, I'll come to that in a moment. But yeah, like what I'm thinking with the fleet organization is the first fleet's definitely based in London, Londinium. That's my prime fleet, and it does currently have my best admiral, Inimicus Urcus, who I've commented on before. My thinking here is that I want the Albion area to have my kind of first couple fleets. So the first fleet in Londinium, Volconum is my other big port city, so that has my second fleet. Manawia, as the home of my third fleet, I think makes sense given that it's more interior. I may reconsider this in the future, but for now, I think this makes the most sense. And then having Lugudurum have... Hold on, sorry, let me fix this. Lugudurum is my fourth fleet. Forgot to click enter before. And Namnetum has my fifth fleet. There we go. Yeah, okay. There we go. And then eventually what I might do is establish a sixth fleet and sort of have it live in Esta, and then have it become the fifth fleet, and Namnetum becomes the sixth fleet. Like, which fleet is what number doesn't matter at all, of course. This is just to organize them. The name of the fleet and, like, the place they're stationed is what really counts. And because they're all standardized, they're all the same kind of fleet with the same number of ships, where I put each individual fleet and which admiral I assign essentially doesn't matter. I can move around any number of ships, I can move around any admiral, right? Like, all I'm doing is organizing it for my own personal sake. And to me, it makes the most sense that I'll eventually, sort of plan to have three sort of home island fleets that are, on the southern coast, and then one that's in the center, right? Because I'm not dealing with, like, Viking invasions or anything. Like, this whole coastline, completely unnecessary to have a fleet over here. And the middle fleet here is really just to transport the Caledonian troops around more easily, but it could have some purpose. And it can live in Manawia, right? It can be sort of my backup fleet. And then sort of three frontier sort of Gallic coast fleets. And my main Gallic ports, Lugudurum at the northernmost tip, Namnetum near the southernmost tip of the coast, and then in the center, Esta. So I could put it in Galeta Orientalis, but I think Esta makes more sense as the fleet home because I like having the fleet stationed by the river. So I think this makes the most sense to me. I know this is like a level of organization that, again, may be unnecessary, but this is what I enjoy doing, and clearly this far in, you enjoy watching it, so you're welcome. Anyways, Maius Urcus succumbed to a brain tumor at 58. That's pretty young. Governor of Germania. That's a shame. I actually remember this character being in charge for quite a while. Let's put a new character in charge. Could get a pretty good governor trait here, but this family's already pretty. The Calatii are already pretty packed in the government. We could put an Urkii in charge. I don't like these. How about... Could put Danaea Diwika, but her corruption is quite alarming. That being said, Germania is a really small section. We only have one province in it, so this is an okay place to put, because traditionally I've been putting High Marshal, but otherwise pretty bad characters to be governor in Germania to get a good general, which I think is still a smart move. And I could also do that now with Aquitania. Like, this character is pretty good marshal for the characters I have access to. Actually, he's a pretty good character in general to be a governor. Aside from that, but that's, again, he's not controlling that much, because these little sectional kind of like governorships, these sort of technical governorships that don't actually matter that much. It's a perfect way to kind of trick the game into giving you generals, because with the Legion system, you can actually pick characters to be general, but with the levy system, you're trapped using hybrid governor generals. That's one of the main trade-offs, of course, of the decision to not go for legions, which I'm still not going to go for right now. I will eventually probably have to go for it once I'm further away from the home isles, of course, but in the meantime, yeah, so we're really not looking at... Actually, hold on. We have a couple okay characters here. I kind of like putting her... I mean, actually, no, she's Baturgian, though, so I don't want to have a non-Iceni governor, if possible. You're pretty good. You actually have really good finesse. This is the guy that I just fired from the cabinet. Slave output is okay. Yeah, I might go for you, actually. Having a minor character governor. Do I have any other minor character governors? You have Calatii governor. We've got an Urkii governor. And then down here, Calatii governor. And then we've got... I think she's a minor... No, yeah, she's the head of the Calatii family, of course. I don't have any other minor character governors. I guess it could work. Could put another Welba. That would give them one extra. Yeah, that might be a good idea to put a Welba here. Although you're really old, though. Where are all my young characters at? Jeez. How about you? You're an Urkii. That'd be okay. Really good loyalty. Oh, she's abrasive. But, because she's an Urkii, she's got good loyalty because she's married with the royal family. No corruption problems. Really young. That being said, I don't need a really great character. I just need a strong martial character. I think, actually... That's almost 100% more wage. But that being said, is wage based on the size of the province, which it might be? Let me check really quick. Governor... So the governor of Aquitania, notice here, Aquitania, in terms of size of the province, is like 1/50th of the size of Armorica, and they're paid about the same. So it's actually not based on the size of the province. That's really good to know. So in that case, let's not get a corrupt character. That would be a huge waste of money. You've got corruption just from some sort of event. You don't have base corruption. Okay, you know what? Let's go with... this minor character. We're just looking to get ourselves a decently okay general. Although that being said, I could always just use mercenary generals. I can definitely afford it at this point. I'm definitely thinking about this way more than I really need to. You know what? Let's assign this younger character who state religion happiness. That's kind of good because we want to expand state religion. Let's just assign her to give ourselves... Actually, hold on. I could go for this other Welbus. I do want to give the Welbuses another position. Okay. This guy doesn't have any bad traits at all. All right, so on the basis of basically being average and not having any single serious problem, this guy, the 16-year-old, this teenager, is now the governor of Germania. Not necessarily a... Ooh, do I want to keep it like this? No, it's still Druidic over here. Yeah, because it's south of the Rhenus. All right, this is going to have to change over. We're going to put ourselves further away from cities. Actually, we can go to cultural simulation. I think we were on cultural simulation before. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching this very slow-paced but conceptually kind of like a mechanically action-packed episode of a lot of kind of nation micro. But I think after a pretty hectic couple episodes of war and strife, we've now cleaned up the barbarians, we've cleared away the barbs, and we've completely cleaned up our new holdings, and we've got ourselves a plan to build a new navy that's in progress and to build another sixth navy that is sort of in the works. And we're on the path to recovery. We're already a fair ways into recovering our manpower, and we have a lot of money still to spend, and look at all the income. Our trading situation is even better. Next episode, we're probably going to do some more of this economic stuff and continue on the path to recovery. Gonna find a way to spend a lot of this money on settlement and infrastructure. I'm actually kind of hoping to spend essentially all the money I've accumulated, because I'm sitting on this big treasury that's not being put to any use, turn it into modifiers in my settlements and in my cities. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.